have knitted up until May the 7th. And we are introducing a little bit more warmer colors, hotter temperatures. And it fluctuated throughout. We have January to May the 7th. So now I'm going to continue working on May to try to get as much as I can done before I go on my trip. So let's get started on knitting more for the month of May. So let's see what the temperature is like as it keeps fluctuating up and down. Let's see if we start seeing some more consistent temperatures. All right, I'm going to cut this off. We don't need this for now. Okay. I am working on May 8th and the temperature is 84 Fahrenheit. And I'm just going to add on varsity red. So I'm going to go ahead and start row 1 by adding on varsity red. And I'm just going to knit all the way across for row 1, varsity red. I just finished row 1. Now I'm ready to knit row 2. I'm just going to continue knitting all the way across in varsity red, May 8th, and the temperature is 84. Just knitting all the way to the end. May 8th, 84 Fahrenheit. I'm just knitting to the end of row 2. Just knitting all the way to the end, garter knit stitch. I'm going to double knot my ends to keep it secure. And now I'm ready to start my new day. I am on May 9th. And the temperature is 62 Fahrenheit. We dropped again. So let me cut this off. May 9th, I'm just adding on a varsity yellow. 62 Fahrenheit. So let's just add on varsity yellow. I'm going to knit row 1 all the way across. May 9th, knit all the way across to the end. May 9th, we're just at the end of row 1, and I'm using varsity yellow, just knitting to the end of the row. I'm going to continue knitting row 2, varsity yellow, May 9th, 62 Fahrenheit, just knit all the way to the end for row 2. Knit all the way across to the end. May 9th, 62 Fahrenheit, varsity yellow, I'm just knitting all the way to the end for row 2. I'm going to tie my knot a second time. And now I'm ready to start my new day. Let's see what's next. All right, let's start our new day. Hopefully I don't have to change colors. Spoiler alert. I am on May the 10th. And the temperature is 60 Fahrenheit, which means I don't have to change my yarn color. Which means I will be using varsity yellow, so I don't have to cut it off. So let's continue on. May 10th, 60 Fahrenheit. I'm going to continue knitting with varsity yellow. So let's continue knitting. Row 1, knitting all the way across varsity yellow. May 10th, 60 Fahrenheit, knit all the way across to the end, row 1. May 10th, 60 Fahrenheit, varsity yellow, just knitting to the end of row 1. Knitting all the way to the end. I'm going to continue knitting row 2, varsity yellow, all the way across. I'm going to continue knitting May 10th, 60 Fahrenheit. I'm going to knit all the way across row 2 to the end. So just knit all the way to the end, varsity yellow.
May 10th, 60 Fahrenheit. I'm knitting to the end of row 2.
Varsity yellow, just knitting all the way to the end. Just knitting to the end of row 2. May 10th, 60 Fahrenheit. And now I'm ready to start my new day.
May 11th, 60 Fahrenheit. I am using varsity yellow.
So let's knit all the way across for row 1 in varsity yellow. Just knit all the way across. Don't have to change my yarn. May 11th, 60 Fahrenheit. I'm just knitting to the end of row 1 using varsity yellow. Just knitting all the way to the end. I'm going to continue knitting for row 2, varsity yellow, knitting all the way across to the end. So just knit all the way across. May 11, I'm using a varsity yellow again, and the temperature is 60 Fahrenheit. I'm just knitting to the end of row 2, just finishing up the day, knitting all the way to the end.
And now I'm going to start my new day. May the 12th.
63 Fahrenheit. I am using varsity yellow, so I'm not changing my color, and I'm continuing on with row 1 using varsity yellow. May the 12th, 63 Fahrenheit. I'm going to continue knitting for row 1 in varsity yellow. Continue knitting all the way across to the end. May 12th, 63 Fahrenheit. I'm knitting to the end of row 1 using varsity yellow. Just continuing to the end of the row. Now I'll continue knitting row 2 all the way across to the end. Just knit all the way across.
May 12th, 63 Fahrenheit. I'm just knitting to the end of row 2.
Knitting all the way to the end. And now I'm going to start my new day. May 12th, 63 Fahrenheit. I knit it to the end of the row, and I had a bunch of rows of varsity yellow. So now that I've completed the yellow, I'm going to start my new day. So that last one was May the 12th, 63 Fahrenheit. And now I'm going to go ahead and start my new day. All right, I'm just cutting off the varsity yellow. All right, now I'm on May the 13th, 75 Fahrenheit. I'm going to add on varsity orange. I'm adding on row 1. Just going to knit all the way across for row 1. Just knit all the way across to the end. May 13th, 75 Fahrenheit. I'm using a varsity orange. I'm knitting to the end of row 1. Just knitting all the way to the end. And now I'm going to continue knitting in varsity orange, row 2, all the way across. So just knit all the way to the end. We're knitting all the way across to the end. May 13th, knitting all the way across. May 13th, 75 Fahrenheit. I'm using varsity orange. I'm knitting to the end of row 2. I'm going to tie my knot to secure my end. And now I'm ready to start my new day. May 14th,
62 Fahrenheit. We are going back to varsity yellow. I'm going to go ahead, take off the varsity orange. Going to add on varsity yellow. Going to knit all the way across for row 1. Just knit all the way across. Tie my knot once. And I'm going to knit all the way across. May 14th, 62 Fahrenheit. I'm just knitting to the end of row 1, varsity yellow. I'm going to continue knitting row 2 all the way across. May 14th, varsity yellow, 62 Fahrenheit, knitting all the way to the end of row 2. Just knit all the way to the end. May 14th, 62 Fahrenheit. I'm knitting with varsity yellow. I'm knitting to the end of row 2. And now I'm ready to start my new day. Just going to go ahead and tie a double knot. I knit it May 8th to May the 14th. And as you can see, 60s were very big right now because you see a lot of varsity yellow, 8 rows, and then color change, and then more rows of varsity yellow. But as you can see, the colors look very, very pretty. I love the way it looks as we try to get into warmer temperatures. And as you can see, the yarn is frequently being used of the temperatures that stayed the same for a few days. All right, everyone, happy knitting, and I'll see everyone next time. Like, subscribe, and happy knitting. Bye for now.